In September 1965, the life of James Stockdale, then a U.S. Navy pilot, took a drastic turn when his aircraft was shot down over Vietnam. Captured by enemy forces, Stockdale was thrust into a world of relentless hardship and confinement. Stripped of his freedom and subjected to brutal interrogation, Stockdale found himself in solitary confinement for years on end. It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. Alone in a cramped, dark cell, Stockdale confronted not just physical torment, but also the profound psychological challenge of enduring isolation. Stoicism, a philosophy he had passionately studied before his capture, became his guiding light amidst the darkness. Stoic teachings, which emphasize the distinction between what is within our control and what is not, provided Stockdale with a mental framework to navigate his dire circumstances. Despite the constant threat of torture and the uncertainty of his fate, Stockdale exercised what Epictetus called the dichotomy of control, focusing solely on his own thoughts, attitudes, and responses. This disciplined approach allowed him to preserve his dignity and mental resilience, refusing to let his captors break his spirit. Each day became a test of endurance and inner strength. Stockdale drew upon Stoic practices such as negative visualization to mentally prepare himself for the worst while hoping for the best. He cultivated a profound sense of self-reliance and fortitude, recognizing that while he could not control his physical environment, he could control his reactions to it. Stockdale's isolation was not just physical, but also intellectual. Cut off from the world, he reflected deeply on the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, finding solace and inspiration in the writings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Their words became his companions, offering him the courage to endure and the wisdom to find meaning even in the midst of suffering. This chapter sets the stage for Stockdale's incredible journey, illustrating how Stoic philosophy equipped him not only to survive, but to thrive under unimaginable adversity. It highlights the practical application of Stoic principles in the face of isolation and suffering, demonstrating their enduring relevance in today's world. Amidst the stark confines of his solitary cell, James Stockdale turned to Stoic philosophy not just as a theoretical framework, but as a practical toolkit for resilience. Stoicism, with its emphasis on virtue, reason, and the acceptance of the inevitable, provided Stockdale with essential tools to navigate the harsh realities of captivity. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. Central to Stockdale's survival strategy was the Stoic principle of focusing exclusively on what lay within his control. Confined and under constant threat, he disciplined his mind to manage his thoughts and emotions, refusing to be consumed by despair or fear. This deliberate practice of mental self-control, honed through Stoic meditation and reflection, allowed him to maintain a sense of inner peace and clarity amidst external chaos. Stockdale also embraced the Stoic practice of negative visualization, mentally preparing himself for the worst-case scenarios while remaining hopeful for eventual liberation. This technique not only fortified his resolve, but also tempered his expectations, minimizing the psychological impact of disappointment and uncertainty. In the crucible of captivity, Stoicism became more than an intellectual pursuit for Stockdale. It became his lifeline. He internalized Stoic virtues such as courage, resilience, and justice, drawing strength from the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. Their writings served as beacons of inspiration, reminding Stockdale of the enduring power of virtue, even in the bleakest of circumstances. The dichotomy of control, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, empowered Stockdale to distinguish between external events beyond his influence and his internal responses to them. By focusing on his attitudes and actions, he reclaimed agency over his own narrative, refusing to relinquish his dignity or integrity despite the daily trials he faced. Stockdale's adherence to Stoic principles not only sustained him throughout his ordeal, but also shaped his legacy as a symbol of human resilience. His unwavering commitment to virtue and reason enabled him not only to survive, but to emerge from captivity with his spirit unbroken and his principles intact. James Stockdale's harrowing experience as a prisoner of war in Vietnam tested the very core of his beliefs in Stoic philosophy, particularly the teachings of Epictetus. Enduring years of captivity and torture, Stockdale confronted the brutal realities of war with a steadfast commitment to Stoic principles. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. Central to Stockdale's resilience was Epictetus's doctrine of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. Confined to a tiny cell and subjected to physical and psychological torment, Stockdale focused relentlessly on maintaining control over his thoughts and responses. This Stoic discipline allowed him to resist despair and maintain a sense of inner freedom despite external constraints. Epictetus's emphasis on moral integrity and personal virtue became guiding principles for Stockdale amidst the chaos of captivity. He viewed each day as an opportunity to embody Stoic virtues such as courage, resilience, and justice, refusing to compromise his beliefs or betray his fellow prisoners under duress. His unwavering commitment to ethical conduct served not only as a source of strength, but also as a beacon of hope for those around him. The dichotomy of control, a cornerstone of Epictetus's philosophy, empowered Stockdale to confront adversity with clarity and resolve. By accepting the inevitability of external events beyond his influence, he redirected his focus towards nurturing his inner resilience and fortitude. This Stoic mindset enabled him to withstand unimaginable hardship without succumbing to bitterness or self-pity. Throughout his captivity, Stockdale drew inspiration from Epictetus's teachings on endurance and perseverance. He embraced Stoic practices such as negative visualization to mentally prepare himself for the worst-case scenarios while maintaining hope for eventual liberation. This proactive approach not only bolstered his psychological resilience, but also reinforced his determination to survive with dignity intact. Stockdale's adherence to Stoic doctrines was not merely a philosophical abstraction, but a practical framework for navigating the complexities of war and captivity. His courageous resistance against physical and psychological coercion exemplified the transformative power of Stoic philosophy in real-world adversity, reaffirming its relevance as a timeless guide for moral courage and personal resilience. Stoicism helped him. Stockdale was into philosophy at university. After his release, he gave a speech at King's College London, which was published under the title Courage Under Fire, Testing the Doctrines of Epictetus in the Laboratory of Human Behavior. Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist, was a Holocaust survivor who endured unimaginable suffering in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. While he lost his family and his personal freedom and was subjected to inhumane conditions, Frankl's spirit remained unbroken. In his landmark book, Man's Search for Meaning, He described how, even in the darkest moments, he found purpose by choosing how to respond to his suffering. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Frankl's story highlights that finding meaning in suffering, whether through love, work, or personal growth, can be a source of strength. His ability to maintain his sense of purpose despite horrific circumstances serves as a powerful example of inner resilience. Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistani activist for female education, became an international symbol of courage and hope after surviving an assassination attempt by the Taliban in 2012. At the age of 15, Malala was shot in the head for advocating for girls' right to education in Pakistan, where extremists were trying to suppress it. Despite the violent attack, she continued her fight for education and human rights. After her recovery, Malala spoke before the United Nations and became the youngest ever Nobel Peace Prize laureate at age 17. Her story is not just about surviving, but thriving and standing up for a cause despite personal danger. I tell my story not because it is unique, but because it is the story of many girls. Malala's life is a testament to the power of standing up for what you believe in and how courage and determination can change the world, even when faced with life-threatening adversity. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison for his fight against apartheid in South Africa. He was incarcerated in harsh conditions, isolated from the world, and deprived of basic freedoms. Despite these unimaginable hardships, Mandela never gave up hope. His resolve to achieve racial equality and justice for his country remained unshaken. Upon his release, instead of seeking revenge, Mandela advocated for reconciliation and peace, becoming the first Black president of South Africa in 1994. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Mandela's story illustrates the power of perseverance and the ability to forgive and lead with dignity, even after decades of personal suffering. His life symbolizes the strength required to fight for justice and the resilience needed to change the course of history. At the age of 13, professional surfer Bethany Hamilton lost her left arm in a shark attack while surfing in Hawaii. Despite the traumatic event, she returned to the sport just a month after the attack. Bethany's determination and passion for surfing were unshaken. Over the years, she not only continued to surf, but also competed in major professional events, even beating athletes with full physical abilities. I don't need easy, I just need possible. Bethany's story is an inspiring reminder that physical limitations don't define a person's ability to achieve their dreams. Her resilience and refusal to give up allowed her to continue excelling in her sport and inspire millions around the world. Nick Vujicic was born without arms and legs due to a rare condition called tetra amelia syndrome. As a child, he faced bullying, depression, and overwhelming challenges in daily life. At one point, he even considered taking his own life. However, Nick found hope through faith, inner strength, and a sense of purpose. Today, he is a motivational speaker, traveling the world to share his message of hope, resilience, and living life to its fullest, despite physical limitations. If I fail, I try again and again and again. If you fail, are you going to try again? The human spirit can handle much worse than we realize. Nick's story is a powerful example of how attitude, perseverance, and self-belief can help someone overcome even the most difficult circumstances, teaching others that life's limitations are only as strong as the mind allows them to be. Each of these stories reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is always light to be found. Whether it's Viktor Frankl, Malala Yousafzai, Nelson Mandela, Bethany Hamilton, or Nick Vujicic, these individuals faced incredible challenges. Yet, not only did they endure, they changed the world around them through their resilience and determination. The power of the human spirit is not something distant or rare. It exists within every one of us. Whatever struggle you're facing, remember that it's your choices, your actions, and your attitude that shape who you become. We are all capable of more than we realize. Stay strong, move forward, never give up. If you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and give the video a like.